Welcome back to the John and Linetia Show.
We'd like to apologize to our listeners. Last hour, we thought we had basketball player Jeremy Lin in the studio, but we just now found out it was actually Ron Artest.
All the basketball players look the same to me.
Yeah, me too. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, we apologize.
So, how about all the drama around the Chicago teachers?
Yeah.
And our delightful mayor, Mayor Richie Daley II.
Your nickname for Rahm Emanuel.
Yes, Rahm. He's getting schooled on this. He really just does not look very good. I would say he doesn't look very smart. It's like he's trying to assert himself and make these unilateral decisions, and it's blowing up in his face. So last year his whole big thing was, we're gonna extend the school day,
right?
Extend the school day. And so ultimately it would bring the school day extended about 20% more, and which hey, that sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like a good plan. Mm-hmm.
No big deal. He didn't really say anything about paying the teachers for that extra time.
Correct.
For whatever reason, he seemed to assume that the teachers would work longer hours for the same exact pay. I'm not aware of anybody who would like that idea at their job. Hey, you're working 8 hours a day. We would like you, to work 10 hours,
10 or 12
for the same
amount of money.
Nobody would like that. And hey, the teachers have a union. Things have to be collectively bargained, and he apparently had no plan for this. I think his plan really was, let's do this, and then when it comes time to maybe pay them more, we will turn our pockets inside out and say, hey, we have no money.
I don't understand this. I know we have talked about this before, but I just don't understand why the money is not there to pay for our teachers.
Well, I mean, I can understand why the money's not there. You get, even though it's property taxes that are being used to fund the schools. Okay, in a lot of cases, especially thanks to foreclosures and everything, I would think that you've got less property taxes. You've got less really properties being owned. Okay, but you've got rising costs for things. I'm sure the pension costs are up there. Recently the new budget for the Chicago school system, coincidentally, they essentially raised the taxes as high as you could possibly, so the max, and in the budget decided to basically drain the entire rainy day fund. Okay, so that's why I think that you do that, you publicly state you're doing that. And basically, part of the budget is offering the teachers a 2% raise, even though last year their 4% raise was canceled. Okay, so here you're going to get a 2% raise, and sorry, we have no money.
I saw something on the news the other day that said that, and I'm not speaking against the teachers because I'm for them, but someone said that the Chicago public school teachers are the highest paid teachers in the U.S. I mean,
I think it's close. I think depending upon how you look at it.
But that's kind of sad.
Sad in what way?
Other teachers are getting lower pay?
Sure. Well, I mean, you got to understand too that the Chicago the Chicago public school teachers have a very strong union. You have a very strong union, and you've got that collective bargaining. There's no unions at private schools. Maybe not. I don't know if there are suburban public schools. In a way, I kind of find it hard to believe, just because you would think in some of the more affluent
neighborhoods,
not neighborhoods, but suburbs, that maybe the school systems there would actually pay for, very good teachers. But even so, I'm not going to begrudge them on anything. I'm not going to sit there and go, teachers make too much money. Not when the politicians are turning around and they're giving good 10, 15, 20% raises to their buddies, their cronies who get on the payroll. Okay, the teachers are doing a valuable thing, and yeah, they should be paid a lot. But also, if they're going to have to do more time, if they're going to have to spend more time doing their job, they should be compensated.
So if they can't find the money, I mean, what? So then that means our kids can't stay in school longer, and then
ultimately, what'll likely happen is the teachers, they've authorized a strike.
Yeah.
If they can't, get it, on the bargaining table, if the Chicago Public School Board doesn't actually negotiate in good faith, likely what they'll do is try to do things to turn people against the teachers. So they would, talk about cutting programs, cutting more after school and extracurricular programs, as if there isn't any, if there's anything else to cut. They'll talk about, laying off teachers, fewer teachers, larger classes, and all of that.
Which they've done before.
Well, yeah, they've done before.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, well, it's a quagmire. I think the public school board and our mayor, Richie Daley II, created it.
I know I asked you this before, but didn't we have the lottery that's supposed to go toward the Chicago Public Schools in some way?
It's an interesting little myth.
I mean, to help.
It's an interesting little myth. When the lottery was created, there was a certain fund that the state would contribute to public schools. And the fund, basically, the state contributed something like $3 million, okay, or whatever it was. When the lottery was created, instead of the state contributing, they basically said, the lottery receipts up to $3 million will go to the schools. And I may be wrong with that figure, but it basically was, this is how much the state contributes. So they basically took the source, they changed the source from the state to the lottery. But they're not, there is no, if the lottery makes more money, the schools get more money. The schools get a certain amount of money, period. And then if there's extra, that goes to the state and everything. So that's the myth.
There's always going to be extra. The lottery is one of those places that still made money regardless.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know that they actually raise the number that the lottery gives to the schools year after year, but they certainly don't give all the profit to the schools. That's not the case.
Well, I hope everything works out because we need our teachers. And we've talked about this before, of course. Speaking of finances, do you have a Capital One credit card?
No.
I do. But usually when I call in, and not Capital One specifically, but any credit card, if I call in like to check on a balance or something, check on the interest rate or whatever, I always get, someone who's trying to sell me something.
Right, they want to upsell you on something.
They want to upsell you on something, Get this, let's get some credit card protection, yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
And I usually tell them, no, I don't need any of this. Because the slick part of it is this percentage of that you're going to have to pay is for every certain amount of dollars that you have on your card. Right. Okay. Well,
and the fact of the matter is that you've already got enough protection. Period. They're adding this extra layer that really is unnecessary.
This is unnecessary, and I guess Capital One just got caught. Well, Capital One has now agreed to pay $210 million to resolve charges by U.S. banking regulators that its call center representatives misled consumers into paying for extra credit card products. That's just not good at all. Just not good. But the other part of this is that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they have said that they are putting all credit card companies on notice that these deceptive practices are against the law and will not be tolerated, and they are going to bring out more announcements about other institutions.
Well, good.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. But you know what? $210 million to Capital One. That's like, $5 out of the pocket for us.
Well, some of the money, thank goodness, I guess is going to go back to, these people who were deceived. And I guess the rest of it has to go into, fees or whatever. But this is just ridiculous. People can't afford to pay extra fees on anything.
You know what? I kind of look at both ways. On the one hand, yeah, you're right, the fact that they're offering this. On the other hand, you know what? You got to be a smart consumer, and you got to know, when not to. It just really depends. I mean, quite honestly, I can't begrudge them for trying to sell something.
No, that's their job.
And, unless they basically made it very unclear. Well, it was obvious. They didn't make it really clear what someone was buying. Then, and they might have even said, maybe you're not fully protected. You should get this, when that's a lie. They were fully protected. So.
They're just about making more money.
Yeah.
Making more money.
More
I don't even want to talk about when you go to different banks and they have overdraft fees. That's another subject.
All right, we'll be right back after these words from the new movie, Batman: The Dark Knight Rises. 50% darker, 37% nightier.
You're listening to the John and Linetia Show.